There we go. Good evening. Uh, Welcome. This is Dr. Thomas, and this is Spiritual Wisdom with Dr. Thomas, I guess. Uh, it's March. It's March. Okay. For those that have been following me since I started this November, um, there's a sequence to this that I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's leading to. I can see where it's going, but every week I come on and the topic comes. I don't plan it. I don't predict it. It just it's what I moved and what spirit is having me talk to about. We are putting up a protection. It's not needed, but you need it to feel better with what we are talking about tonight. That is what we say. That is what we did last time. That is what we're doing now because we are talking about something we don't want to be talking about, but we need to be talking about because of where we're at. It is that simple. And that is why we do it that way. That is why we started with this because no, you are protected with love. There is so much love in this universe. There is so much love on this planet. You don't see it because humans, you do not talk about love. Do you not know that? Do you not realize that? When you're in groups, when you're in conversations, you're not talking about how you love other people. Maybe your spouse or your kids, but you're not talking about how you love your neighbor, how you love your friend, how you love the person that's helping you or talking to you. That's taboo. We talk about, oh, you have it worse than I do. No, I have it worse than you. And we talk about the negative and we bring out that. But that is not what we are going to be doing. Because there is so much love in this world. Do you not see it? Because you don't. It is all around. The love is phenomenal. It is so there. And we love you so much. So why are we here tonight? Oh, we want to help you. Ah, last week we talked about what we'll call the initial evil of the world. And the premise is simple because you come here in free will. You, believe it or not, have free will, free choice for everything. And you are honored for everything you do. But to come with free will and free choice, there is a caveat. Evil is it. In order to you free will, you must understand the opposite of good. And that's evil, because if you have free will, you have the free will to do good or evil, to love or to hate. Be mindful, be worried. And so we talked about that last week. When you come into this life, your first few years, you are so full of the love because you just left the biased love of God to come into this life. And so your first few years are full of this love and this joy because you do not know any better. But that evil shadow side is connected to you. Because when you come in, your soul comes into the body, that shadow side comes in. But it is not strong. It is not dominant. It is hidden. But as you develop, you are taught and raised fear and anxiety and worry. And that builds two things. Number one, it builds your ego, which is then directed by the shadow side. It's not always bad. Because the shadow side is not this evil entity, it is just a different type of thing. Okay? But you control it with love. The more love you have, the more you live in your soul, the more you're living in what you call your purpose. We don't like that word, but the purpose is what you call it. Okay, your purpose. But the more you're living in love, the less your ego and the shadow self can actually emulate and dictate and push you where you want to go, because you are then directing where your path goes. We talked about that today, tonight. We're gonna break a stigma. How brother, we call it brother, easier for you, has talked about this in many channels, in his books. Talked about what is hell and the devil. Let me be clear. Neither exist. Both are stories planted to create fear and power. Planted in a time when it was needed to be planted. Because the only way to create pure love in this universe is by creating fear first. So you know the difference between love and fear. So you can choose which path you want. Because if you know not of fear and power and control and anxiety and worry and threat, then you do not know what love is. And you can't really create it because it's all you know. You must know both. And so in the early times, this vengeful God of the Bible, this heaven and hell thing was given to you. But man are the ones that built it up higher and higher and higher, because that's what you do. But these depictions, these stories, I want to tell you about Eben Alexander. He wrote a book, Proof of Heaven. We've talked about it before, but we're going to put it together for you right now. Because this is common for people with near death experiences, especially in the olden times. When you have a near death experience, those are the people that have come back and told you about heaven and hell and what the hell looks like and what heaven could look like. But you do not realize this yet because you are living. You've not experienced this, so you do not know. But when you pass but does not pass, when you die but not die, because your body is still alive, but your soul leaves for a little bit. These are near-death experiences. You go into a place, an in-between state, where ultimately you have choice as a soul if you are going to return or not. And many of those that have been in comas for decades and years, their soul has chosen to stay because truly you are programmed to fear death because the spirit side, the realm that you live in when you're not a human, is so marvelous and peaceful and love and joy that you would go there in a heartbeat if you knew the truth. And death would be easy and fast for many people because it is a sanctuary of love when you pass. But when you are in the limbo, the in-between state, You enter a space which has been described as hell. It's not these beautiful light beings and all these wonderful things. It's different. Now, some have been able to bypass that and go right to meeting the person they are supposed to meet and go right into whatever they are supposed to do at that time. But not everyone. There is that limbo state where it's a little darker, a little tint of red. It's not a solid ground. It's just a space that could be fearful because it's in between. And the reason it is set up like that is because we want you to know you can go back. You can go back. But in this space, if you are truly there and you are in the in between and in the limbo, the choice will be there. And you will be greeted by someone, as Evan Alexander has, as many people have been greeted. Whether it's by someone in your life that is past, or by Jesus, or one of the prophets, or someone that is very spiritual to you. They meet you there to make you feel comfort in that space. And then they let you choose what is next. But is that space? That is what has been described as hell. But it is not. Because hell does not exist. It is only a story to create fear. Now, these churches say, do this wrong sin and you go to hell. No. Let me rephrase what happens in the rules we talked about before. You have nothing to fear. You can do no wrong because love is the energy and we only love you. And when you live in love, guess how you act? You act in love. And the evil side does not come out. You do not purposely or intend to hurt others. You are good. It is when the fear and the power and the control and the worry comes out, that is when you see the bad. Those people are not living in love. So we go back to this. All these stories you see in the Bible, all these people saying, do this or you go to hell. No one has ever been to hell because it not exist. Now let's bring this farther. If you go to hell, then how the heck do you come back in a reincarnation? Now let's think about this. 80% of you people believe in reincarnation. 80+%, and it's growing. You learn about your past lives. There's documented proof of people talking about past lives with evidence that cannot be disputed. These exist. Things you do not understand exist. You've not broken through that technology yet. You've not read the codes yet. But if you went to this place called hell for all eternity, then why would you come back for reincarnation, people? Do you not understand? It's because there is no hell. Hell is there just to keep you in line with what the people in power want you to think and to believe. Now the devil, that's another story. There is no such thing as a devil, a fallen angel that came down. No. There is no fallen angels. However, there are evil demons, entities, low vibrations that are here They are not fallen angels, fallen spirits, fallen guides, whatever you want to call them. We will tell you what they are next time. Because we do not want to throw a lot out at one time when we're talking about this stuff. Okay. I'm taking over. All right. Do you hear what was said? Do you grasp what was channeled? It is not to say that religion is wrong. It is not to say that church doesn't have it right. The purpose of religion and church is to search for the truth and the God's love and Jesus' love, and whoever you go to, the love that has been spread. It is all about the love and living your life in love. That is the message that Jesus taught for those that are Christian. In the West, most of us are Christian. That is the message. He did not teach about sin and darkness. He taught about love. Now there are parables and stories of the devil coming to him. We'll get to that. There are many in this earth that have seen the devil thing. But it's not what you think. And the solution to it all, the antidote to it all is simple. If you live your life in love, if you surround yourself in love, if you go forth and do everything out of love, everything that these religions preach and teach you about what you shouldn't do, guess what? You won't even think about doing that stuff. But you'll be acting in a way that it doesn't matter what other people think, because you'll be living out of love and you'll be doing what you want out of love. And that is it. When you live out of love, you live in love. And you have nothing to fear. You can do no wrong. Now, I remember, this is me now talking, but I remember when I was listening and reading the book Proof of Heaven by Evan Alexander, I could visualize what this place was. I had no idea what to even imagine what that was, or that they were going to channel that as hell. Our perception of hell is that limbo state, until this week when it hit me, when I was channeling and it just hit me. Like, oh my goodness, it makes sense now. Because a lot of the pictures that I've seen correlate to what I saw when I heard the description. Multiple times he described it in the book. And it just makes sense. I mean, that's the thing. It makes sense. And heaven is pretty simple to explain. It's where we come from. It's where we go back to. It's where the creator, the God, the energy force is. It's where there is only love and nothing else. Because it is the most amazing place. It is the most amazing place you've ever been to. And you've been there many times. And you will go there again. And then you'll come back here. And then you'll go there again. So in retrospect, you can technically call earth hell, because if there's an opposite, spiritual life is the heaven. But this, where we are in right now, is not hell. This is a thing you can never experience anywhere else. And we are all proud when we come into this life and we choose to come here because we choose to come here to feel, to emote, and create new, unbiased love. Okay. Mary, thank you for coming in and leaving comments. I really appreciate that. That is no, they're not playing. That was National Radnaki and National Horoshita Kara of Mayadaroki and that. They're telling you right now it's not playing. Just Horoshita Kaya. I don't Cairo to Maya Hoshita Yandaka. I'm not going to answer that question right now. The going through the darkness was a symbolism of the earth itself. So, the going through the darkness that Jesus went through is a symbolism of the earth and humanity as itself. That we must go through the darkness to come out heated, to fully understand and embrace the love that's in our lives. The darkness did not come for us until after he passed. After he went in spirit and he stayed in spirit. He has not come back as a human. He would always be a master in the spirit, reaching out to many humans and their souls as the purpose of him was. But it was his disciples that are here. They stayed on teaching. And they are here now. You do not know this yet, but they are here now. They are here to teach the words that he taught, but they now understand it better. Because even back then, they did not understand his words, like many didn't. But the darkness he went through was a symbolism of the darkness we had to go through, and we went through. And when we rised up from the darkness, and then we rised up again, because it kept coming, we chose love. We understood the power of love. And that was one of the greatest messages he left that we never understood because we couldn't see it yet. He came not when the time was ready for the messages to be shared. He came when it was the time to write them and to get them out in the universe so that way we could grasp them, think about them, go through the time periods so that when we reached the now, the light bulb would go off and we would know what it is he truly meant. We will know who he truly was very soon. Because the love is there. The disciples are around. They're beginning to teach. And the truths have been uncovered. Not shared yet, but they've been uncovered. Okay, I was not expecting that. Yeah, Mary, thanks. Mary, I'm surrounded by the Syrians. The Pleiadians are what most humans are. The Syrians are like the grandparents of the Pleiadians, so they come in and help. So they have my light language, but they're not who I channel. I'm not sharing that yet. I actually gave a hint today, but I learned the name. I know what it is, who it is I channel. But I keep that close to me. The Pleiadians are all around. Pleiadians, I mean, Syrians play. I mean, we're all Pleiadian. We're all part Pleiadian. The Syrians are, I mean, they're all, it's not like it's one or the other. But it's a Syrian light that surrounds me, and that does my light language. But my channeling is not that. It is a different thing. All right, this is much longer than normal. I thank you guys so much. Love and light to you all. And as always, feel free to leave a comment. Message me if you have questions. Next week, apparently we're talking about what are these things that people call the devil or demons or stuff. Where do they come from? Because you know what? When you find out where they come from, this whole thing about you have nothing to fear. Yeah. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.